Flashy news. Only on ParanoidRadio.com, bringing you flashy news flash.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep below the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
By Kamala Harris picking Governor Tim Walz as her vice president pick can tell us a few things. Number one, tells me that they know they're not going to win. They can't win. Nobody wants to run with Kamala against Trump. Would you want to run against Kamala on this record of the Biden administration's open border? She was the border czar, inflation out of control. People can't buy a home. People can't afford rent. People can't afford groceries. Is that a record you would want to run on? Would you want to stake your political future on running with Kamala Harris on that record against Donald Trump, who's surging in the polls, who raised more money than any politician in the last couple months, breaking all sorts of records, who just survived an assassination attempt? I mean, pretty rough. But they're gonna try. That's all they can do. And chaos and destruction is the name of the game for them now. Because if they can't rule, then they'll burn it all down and let Trump rule over the ashes. That's really the game they're going with now. But the economy crashed a little too early. They were supposed to hold it off until Trump actually took office, and it was all supposed to crash under Trump, pretty much making his presidency a failure. But you can only put so much lipstick on the pig. So now we are seeing Bidenomics actually take hold, and the effects of spending entirely way too much money on things we didn't need, and the Green New Deal and the Inflation Reduction Act would actually cause more inflation, and now we got $35 trillion in debt, and Bidenomics, baby, in full swing. And Kamala has to own it, and she's going to have to run on that. It is also very possible that Kamala Harris might not even be the nominee at the end of the day. They might actually pull her too. The way I see it playing out is Sotomayor, one of the Supreme Court justices, one of the very liberal Supreme Court justices, I could see her retiring, opening up a Supreme Court seat, and then Biden administration enticing Kamala to take that seat and not run. And then at the DNC convention, they could nominate whoever at this point. It's interesting. Shapiro, who was the governor of Pennsylvania, he was actually supposed to be the pick for the vice president. They even leaked it out a little early, and everyone was like, oh my God, it's going to be Shapiro. Like, it was a done deal. But he's Jewish, and, the Democrats hate the Jews. But I think it actually would have helped Kamala to have him as his vice president. But he might have been like, listen, I don't want to attach myself to Kamala, especially going up against Trump. Maybe he would rather be at the top of the ticket. So maybe at the convention, they nominate him, Shapiro. I don't know. Lots of things that can happen from now until then. But the end result will be the same. Like I've been trying to say and been saying, nothing can stop what's coming. The writing is already on the wall for these people. They know that. And now they're threatening to not certify the election on January 6th, right? Oh, but the only problem with that is they changed the law. Remember, because of Mike Pence in January 6th, and the insurrection, they said that Mike Pence had the power to actually stop the certification, which he did have that power. He chose not to use it. So now the Democrats and the rhinos got together because they would just had to try and make a point and look good, right? And they completely changed the law, the electoral count law, which is from like 1863 or something, that actually gave the power to the vice president. So now the vice president has no power whatsoever, completely just a placeholder, just ceremonial, has no power. So now, on January 6, 2025, when Trump wins, they have no choice but to certify it because they no longer have the power not to certify it. This is chess, not checkers. Okay, everything they do backfires and boomerangs, like I've been trying to say and express. It didn't look good for a while with all these court cases, but I sat here and told y'all they were going nowhere. They were all psyops. It was only going to make Trump stronger. And now look at him. Raised over $500 million in the last 2 months. All of the court cases are now done. Florida court case has been completely dismissed because Jack Smith was an illegitimate prosecutor, like we all talked about. He was not properly certified as a prosecutor. He was not voted in by the Senate. None of that. They completely got caught, and that was their strongest case. That was the one they set up the most with the raid in Mar-a-Lago. So that means that raid in Mar-a-Lago was completely illegitimate. Trump is now suing the government for that. Trump is also suing ABC News for falsely calling him a convicted rapist when he was not convicted of rape. Okay, a civil court found him liable of sexual harassment on that Looney Tunes lady, right? Obviously it was not true, but either way, it wasn't rape. So he's now suing ABC. Now, there's supposedly going to be a debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. That was supposed to be. It was supposed to be on ABC, but since Trump is suing ABC News, it's obviously a conflict of interest. So Trump has offered Kamala to do a debate on Fox News on September 4th. And of course Kamala's not going to do it. She's not going to debate. There's no way, because she's terrible off script. She's actually worse than Biden. Trump smells blood. Trump smells their fear. He's on offense now. Nothing can stop what's coming. It was never going to be easy. It was never going to be quick. But best believe we are bringing down this disease temple on their heads. Godspeed.
Paranoid Radio.